A very warm welcome to you, Mostert. Romé, let's start off with the type of activity we are seeing on the local bourse. We did see it come under pressure. Talk us through the kind of activity we are seeing coming through.
Yes, I think we've seen a lot of volatility recently on the back of the global turmoil and so on. However, month to date we are still up 6%. That's basically just risk on mode globally. So volumes month to date about 230 million, which is relatively low. And the bulk of that was on the back of Anglo American 70 million, Shoprite, Barloworld approximately 20 million, and then I think Standard Bank 40 million as well.
The Bank of Namibia is expected to announce interest rates decision tomorrow. We had the consumer inflation falling back to a 6-month low of 6% in May. Will this number have some sort of impact on the decision tomorrow if it is announced?
Yes, I think the interest rates will remain unchanged until end of next year in Namibia, mostly following South Africa's interest rates. And I think the decline in Namibian inflation rate is mostly a reflection of the South African inflation rate. And therefore, the South African inflation rate coming down sort of will have an impact on the SARB interest rates. You could already see a probability of maybe an interest rate cut also entering the FRA curve and so on.
Let's touch a bit on the breweries sector. We have seen a lot of cautionary announcements coming through from Namibian breweries, but the latest one is the DHN Drinks potential acquisition of 100% acquisition of Sedibeng breweries. Firstly, if this deal goes through, how big will it be and what is the price tag?
I had a discussion with Analyst at Macquarie Research, and our view is that if you look at transactions the past decade, the average transaction was about $260 per hectoliter. So we suspect that this transaction will be in the range of $220 per hectoliter on the cheaper side, or maybe $300 on the more expensive side, and that will amount to about say 700 million US dollars to about $1 billion US dollars.
And what are the potential earnings for DHN Drinks if this deal goes through?
We've made a rough calculation so far. We assume a 10 Rand per litre average price that has been used, which is a bit more conservative, but that's also justified by the fact that they must gain some market share in South Africa against the dominant player like SAB. And that will amount to about revenue of about 3.5 billion Rand. And then if you throw an average EBITDA margin on that revenue, you will get about EBITDA of 900 million. And up until now, we don't yet know how the debt equity split will look like. So, but that EBITDA of 900 million is a fair indication of what we can expect.
When we spoke a little earlier, Romé, you touched on the fact that you had visited the Namibian breweries management recently, and they're busy with construction at the Windhoek brewery in order to increase capacity. What kind of capacity are they expecting to come out of this new plant?
Currently, the Windhoek plant is producing has a nameplate capacity of about 2.3 million hectolitres per annum. And they are looking to increase the nameplate to about 2.7 million hectolitres per annum. It's not a very steep increase, but it will definitely give management some room. I don't think we will necessarily immediately see an increase in production to that extent, but it will give them a sort of room or margin for error for future use. And if you look at that increase, it will take, if you take the Namibian breweries from an EV perspective relative to hectoliter, after the capacity increase, it will be at about $116 per hectoliter, which is quite seemingly cheap compared to other breweries, both in Africa and internationally.
Let's just take a look at the type of prices we are seeing within the brewery sector. Now, Namibian breweries increased the price of the tafel quarts by 10.6%, but we also had Castle coming in and increasing their prices for a Castle Lager and Carling Black Label quarts by 19.8%. It looks like Castle will definitely lose some market share to Namibian breweries if they continue with these price increases. They are looking to increase even further.
Yes, that increase was quite steep by Castle, and it actually surpassed the Windhoek Lager prices in the various product ranges when they did that. Considering the price elasticity of the market, the beer market in Namibia, you can definitely expect some moves towards Namibia breweries, especially Tafel Lager and the Windhoek Draft. When talking to bottle stores and bottle retailers, then you've immediately noticed that the consumer has shifted to those products. And when we've spoken to management recently, we've also heard that they've expected 2 to 4% market increase in market share. So we expect that Namibia's breweries market share is currently at about 84-85%.